This friggin' chickens make zero noise, literally not one sound until I hit the go live button, and then it's over here. What's up, everybody? Rain Cat, John Thompson, Lisa, Bama by the Bay, Jody Whipple, what's up? And Duke is here. Hunter Kirk, what's up, Hunter Kirk? How is everybody? We're fabulous, Bear. I'm so happy to hear that. It's Dixon's birthday. So everybody say happy birthday to Dixon. He doesn't want anybody to know, but it is. So. Who else was watching Forgotten Weapons? I watch Gun Jesus all the time. What's up, QRF? Jay Higginbotham, what's up, man? Andrew, Jay Morris, Troy, Oki's boss, Shalom.
Lived another year.
What's up, ABT? ABT, you and I got to we got to plan this dual live stream. So like not right now, probably not even tonight, but tomorrow, text me and we'll figure this thing out. Okay, T. Because that's what you sound like. No problem, bro. Sounds good, T. Cool. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Great impressions.
I'm really good at the impressions. I really am. Lift heavy things. Do EMDR. Mindset. Personal responsibility. Right? I nailed it.
Your problems are your problems.
Your problems are your problems.
I love that video. Your problems are your fault.
Yeah.
I love that video.
I'm just messing, man. ABT doesn't actually sound like that. Oklahoma Survival. What's up, man? Get on Patreon. It'll tell you. YouTube won't. Yeah, I do a Patreon post every time we go live so that y'all know we go live because YouTube won't tell you. How's your recovery? Mine's slow. JR, well, you and me are in the same boat, homie. It is excruciatingly slow by my standards, probably just fine by everybody else's standards, but I'm not a sit around and do nothing kind of guy. Joey Jones, love the survival dispatch video. Thanks, man. I enjoy doing videos over there because the algorithm is much friendlier to them than it is to us. And so, like, the video I've done that has the most views is actually at Survival Dispatch, with 300,000 views. Most we've ever done at Bear Independent is like 250,000, which is nothing to shake a stick at. But you're talking a video that's been up for over years, got 250,000 views, versus a video that's been up for a couple of months at Survival Dispatch that's got 300,000. So, yeah, I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to put some content over there as well. And we actually gain a lot of people from Survival Dispatch every time I do one of those, it's awesome. It's a really good arrangement. So, to heck with the algorithm, not one more inch. What's going on? Is he testing us again? Lisa, who's testing you? Arkansas Living, what's going on? It's not a funny hat. That is the angry American right there. Right there. So, we're being bear trolled into starting at the Look of Doom. Oh, staring those. I filled the buckets today. Rice, beans, oats, sugar, salt, pasta. Good job, Loomp. That's awesome.
And she did a video on it.
And she did a video on it. Loomp. I don't think you can drop a link. But what's up, Medic Mouse? Just pause that video to join the live stream. Awesome. Bear Clan member. What's up, Nels Mohawk? So, yeah, we're just hanging out tonight. Happy to answer, questions per usual. At least I'm still in this algorithm, not like the other. Agreed, which is part of what we need to get together and talk about. I miss my buckets. I had to use my tools today. Cool to see the survival prepper community coming together. I agree. Kerf, hey, shalom, Sister Vicky. There's a lot of really good people in the survival and prepping community here on YouTube, and there's a lot of and not even just on YouTube. I've had a lot of really good interactions with like, I'm not going to name drop. I won't do that. But let's just say there's some people that are really somebody in this community that I've had a lot of really positive, mutually beneficial interactions with. That's really cool. That it's not just people don't get territorial and treat this like a zero-sum game, because it's not. And that's part of why I like to have other people on the show to show you guys, introduce you guys to people that I've found value in. It's part of why we shout out channels from time to time saying, hey, go check this person out. They're doing good work. Because, I mean, that's how, you know, to the extent that I have a following now, a large part of that was, you know, 3 years ago, Pastor Joe Fox of Viking Preparedness shouted us out. I'd never met the man. And I'd shot some video that he saw some value in, and we added thousands of new subs in a matter of days. That's cool. But, you know, to see that level of community in what we do on the content creation side, it's really encouraging that there's people that are out there that have 500,000 or 1 million subscribers that are like, hey, I like what you're about. We should get together sometime. Wow. Thanks, man. You know, and then there's people that have 16 subscribers that are like, hey, I like what you do. We should get together sometime. Wow. Thanks, man. So it's pretty cool. Asymmetrical Preparedness is an outstanding channel. I agree. And one of the things that I like a lot about Michael at AP is his work ethic. He's dropping something every day. What's up? You're welcome to come over if you want to. Recovery Ops on the Porch featuring Bear and that other guy. That other guy. This is Stalwart Peacekeeper. Hold on, I gotta turn the.
Do you have a lighter?
Over there. Now you're
Not for you, Fed.
Thought you needed a cutter.
I just happen to know he has a box of lighters right over there.
Oh man. Scott Brooks and Deb. What's going on, y'all? Forward Operating Base, Ohio. I like it. What's up, fam? George says, sup, Mr. Phelps. Sister Vicky says, shaloha. There's that weird hammock sleeping dude. Arkansas Living is paying attention.
Yeah.
JT Williams, shalom, brother.
He was on Shoe Trace's channel.
Yeah.
Did you see the video come out?
I did. That was a good video.
So we've talked about it. Those of you who follow his channel, there might be a follow-up video coming to that.
Was that a Patreon vid? Yep. I'm telling you anymore. I watch.
I can't. You know, I don't have my own channel, so I do sometimes have a hard time keeping straight
where it goes.
Yeah, where it's going.
Yeah. Yeah. I spend, to the extent that I watch content anymore, the vast majority of what I watch is at Patreon. Or it's people that I support on Patreon. Like, you know, I support Forgotten Weapons, In Range TV, Carl at In Range, Adapt 2030, Ice Age Farmer, so forth and so on. So I'll watch those guys when they drop a video on YouTube if I have the time to. But it's all people like my gray area. Not that I ever had one, but it's like
what are we talking about?
There's like people that I don't watch at all, and then there's people that I do watch who I also support on Patreon.
I was thinking about it while you were talking, and legitimately, my online video viewing is about 70% Patreon, and then of the remaining 30%, 60 to 70% of that is people I also follow on Patreon.
Yeah.
So I end up with like maybe 10% of my video watching is not Patreon or Patreon produced.
I just think that's kind of like, if you think about like people pay for subscriptions, you know, like Netflix or, you know, your freaking cable TV or your, you know, Amazon Prime or the satellite TV, whatever, you know, like it's kind of becoming the way.
Yeah.
You know, because and people will bitch and complain all the time. And I do what I can about it, Bear. There's so many ads on your videos. I'm like, I'm not in charge of that.
Yeah.
That's YouTube, man. They put whatever they want in whatever video they want, and that's part of their updated terms of service is they will put whatever ads on whatever video they see fit, and they'll put as many of them on there as they like.
Yeah, and they're gonna get their money one way or another.
Yep.
They're either gonna get it from you by putting as many ads as they want in front of you, or they're gonna get their money by charging $13 a month to not watch ads.
Right.
Right. Like, I mean,
right.
If you absolutely despise ads, which I don't encourage people to do this, honestly, because I don't like supporting Google, but I have a serious issue with ads and commercials. Like, I literally didn't have cable for years because I was like, I refuse to pay for something and have commercials.
Right.
So I pay for YouTube. Like, I pay for it so that I don't have to watch ads when I do watch a YouTube video.
I've got a YouTube premium account as well. So
I say that with a grain of salt. I don't encourage people to do that because, by all means, if you can cover all of your other necessities and do that, great. But if you're robbing from your ability to prep or put away for this, that, or the other in order to have YouTube, that's YouTube Premium, then that's an issue.
Yeah.
And I would add to that. I think if $10 is going to make or break you, you probably got bigger issues.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably time to do a budget. West Virginia Mountaineer. Very independent, nothing fancy, and the Survival Outpost are my top channels on here. I desperately need to follow on Patreon. Roger that, Joey Jones. I've been a big nothing fancy fan for a long time. Again, getting back to work ethic, like that guy just puts in the hours. I don't know how many thousands of videos he's done, but it's a lot, and they're not like the videos that I do where they're quick.
Yeah,
you're like, I have a very low production value, and that I'm okay with that because I don't have the time for it. He spends a lot of time, puts a lot of effort into one video, and I respect that about him. Even if I'll watch videos, reviews that Nothing Fancy does on things that I'm not even interested in a lot of the time, just because I like the way he does what he does. The way it's
presented.
Yep. Yeah. So
I would also add that, 70% of what I watch is on Patreon, but I can only think of one person on Patreon, maybe two, that don't put out just mass loads of content. Like, I don't jump on Patreon channels just for the heck of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they're putting out content on YouTube as frequent or more frequently than they are on Patreon, I'm probably not going to be on their Patreon.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I'm interested in when I'm on someone's Patreon or their YouTube, or even subscribe to their YouTube, I'm interested in what that person has to say and their knowledge. And if they're doing that primarily on YouTube, many times I won't go to their Patreon.
Yeah.
Just as a point of fact. But the people I follow, like you, Pastor Joe, I follow these people that put out content like mad. And that's why I spend a lot of time on Patreon, because.
So Paul Harrell, who I like what he does. He's another one. He does one. He calls them presentations. He does one presentation per week, and there is nothing at his Patreon channel. Not a thing. It's just simply to help offset the cost of him, buying ammo, producing the content, and I respect what he does. I think he does a really good job. And I like the way that he does. I like the way that he presents. And so I'm a $5 patron of his, simply because I'm like, hey, I see what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
But I do think that other than that, every other channel that I support, the value proposition is that there's information or content behind this paywall that I can't get anywhere else. And so that's why I go there and get it.
Yeah. And like I said, I do have a couple that I support in that manner. I support them because I know that the money is going towards producing everything.
Yep. Upside down workbench. Is fat lighter readily available in your area? What? You mean like fat wood?
Fat wood.
Yeah, we're surrounded by pine
Yeah, I was
trees.
saying there's pine trees everywhere. Ask my allergies a week ago.
Is that what fatwood is? Pine trees?
Well,
It's when a pine tree dies vertically, then all of the resin and sap inside of it, gravity pulls it down. So the roots and stump become super saturated with it, and it burns really, really well. So when that becomes super saturated, it burns well on its own, but when it becomes super saturated, that becomes a type of resinous wood that you can use as
I've
fatwood.
bought it, but I never knew
Yeah.
that's what it
Yep.
was.
That's where it comes from.
Yep.
People harvesting stumps from dead standing trees, and it's also in the roots a lot. So a lot of people don't know.
Watch out.
A lot of people
Don't
know
harvest,
that.
Renee.
Or your roots or your shoots. None of that.
A lot of people don't know that about fatwood
Brian Holm, bless you.
Furnace them.
that I learned in just I was actually well into my bushcraft journey that I learned this about fatwood, that the majority of fatwood, yes, is easiest to find in the stump of a dead standing tree.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. However, if you're out there, like, you don't need a box of fatwood when you're woodcraft or when you're bushcrafting.
Mm-hmm.
You need a piece of fatwood when you're bushcrafting, right? And so when you find even a stump that is not a dead standing tree, it's a stump that has weathered away and is virtually nothing, pull out your e-tool or whatever, dig for a root, break off a root, and that's probably fatwood.
Yep.
Like, you have a good 80% chance of that being fatwood.
You can also get it on stout limbs that have been trimmed but not tight to the trunk, where there's a stub of the limb sticking out. So great from joints of dead lower branches. Yep, Chris, precisely.
Exactly.
I worked on a golf course for 8 years and harvested a Rubbermaid tote full of fatwood, enough for a lifetime. Nice. No smoking near that tote.
Yeah.
I went to a bushcrafting school last week and just learned about it. It's a great all-weather tinder. Indeed. Bear, what do you think about Oregon and Washington counties wanting to join Greater Idaho? I'm an Idaho native. I'm not sure how to feel about it. Well, I'm vaguely familiar, Vigilant Patriot, with that concept. At face value, not living there, I guess, as an objective third party, if they more closely identify with you than they do with their own states, and your legislature is willing to field a bill to allow them to join, and that legislature actually represents the intent of you and your neighbors, I think it's fine. I think it's actually good. It's good to gather like-minded folks. And I think we're going to see more of this, not less of this, as the United States of America continues to weaken. This is the kind of the earliest stages of balkanization, where people, the bonds that tie people together politically within a border that it's been defined in this state or this country, those bonds start to weaken because those bonds are in large part predicated on the efficacy of the governing body. The governing body, as it loses efficacy and it loses legitimacy, people no longer want to be governed by them. And so I think you're seeing people in Oregon and Washington that want to be in Idaho saying we are more closely aligned with these people in Idaho than we are with our own people, air quote, and within our states. We want to be y'all, but we don't want to move. This land is, family land, or we've been here 19 generations, whatever. And so essentially you're talking about Idaho annexing certain parts of other states. And is it going to cause friction? Oh, hell yeah. Because you're talking about debasing the tax base by taking those people out of one state and moving them into another. But if there's taxation without representation, we as Americans have a long history of dealing with that one way or another. So I think this is, in essence, that's what this is. It's a way to, fairly civil way to deal with taxation without representation. But if you and your fellow Idahoans, is that what do you call somebody from Idaho?
I believe so.
Idahoans. I like that one. You and your fellow Idahoans, Idahoans don't want these folks to become part of your state, then speak up and don't let them.
So I agree with everything you just said. But let me play devil's advocate. So many Texans are huge on the reestablishment of the Republic of Texas. But to do so requires the annexation of neighboring states, because the Republic of Texas was a particular border that extended beyond what Texas currently is. And
you trying to slap me, bro?
If I was going to try to slap you, that's fine. But no.
And
So-
flies off.
So the thing you have to take into consideration, I think, is very valid what he was saying, of that the people who are Idahoans,
Idahoans. That's what it was.
Idahoans.
Idahoans. There we go.
They may be like, well, we don't want to recognize them as us, right? Like, pretty sure Oklahoma would take issue with becoming Texans.
Yeah.
So it's a valid point. I feel like it's a valid stance on that. But at the same time, things are going to progress the way they are. And getting back to, I wholeheartedly agree with what you said. If it doesn't represent what you want, then you need to make your voice known. And also, Rufus brought up the fact that the very slim chance of it actually being passed through. And they also voted on Texas seceding from the Union as well recently, and
that's it. And that's a fairly common thing too.
It is. It happens. Like, freaking California has voted for secession numerous times.
Yeah, well, the state of Jefferson, Northern California, these are not new concepts, but I think in light of the evolving geopolitical state here in the country, they are probably going to become stronger, more popular concepts, because a government is capable of governing, is allowed to govern only when it's seen as legitimate. And it could be a long, slow burn from legitimacy to illegitimacy. And there's many folks right now that would say, we have an illegitimate government. I bet your ass you paid taxes. So, see what I mean? It's to what extent is it illegitimate? So no one should have a problem if neighboring patriots want to get out of their shithole. I'm here in California, believe it or not, shit is turning red, man, and I live towards Los Angeles. Well, actually, Les, you bring up a good point, because somebody asked earlier in the comments, do you think that the next generation is going to be more conservative than the current? My general answer to that is I think yes, but I also think that it depends on which generation you're currently in, because the generation that's I don't even know what am I, Generation X?
No, we're millennials, bro.
We are. You might be.
No,
we are.
Yeah.
I am no freaking millennial.
They changed the freaking goal line. Like,
that's what happened. I am not a millennial.
I was not a millennial until I was like 32.
Millennials, like 1996, because Brittany's just barely a
millennial.
When did it start?
It's like late 70s.
Late 70s.
Late 70s makes you a millennial?
Yes.
Gosh
so
dang.
It used to start at like the beginning of the 90s or late 80s.
Shalom, lovely Dudley.
And
I'm
then,
not a millennial.
And
yeah, you are.
All the way up until I was like 32 years old, I was not a millennial.
Well, what were we before we were millennials? Gen X?
Gen X, yeah.
That's what I thought.
You're Gen X. But
I identify as Generation X.
You can be Gen X, I'm Gen X.
But then they changed the dates and made us millennials.
Who are they?
I don't know who they are. The word police, apparently.
Society.
So all this to say, I think it depends on what generation you find yourself in. However, and also what's your sample size and what data are you sampling from? Because I go certain places in the country and I'm like, God dang, this world is gonna burn. And I go other places where I'm like, there is hope. There is hope. So, but if you believe in the pendulum theory, about every 80 years, the pendulum swings off a center, from centrist to hard right to centrist to hard left and back and forth and back and forth. I believe we are on the pendulum swing back towards the center currently. And believe it or not, I do think at some point common sense will prevail. I also think that things might get really, really stupid in between now and whenever that point is. So, hi from your normal tribe, Forest Monster. Shh, don't tell anybody, man.
So,
I finally made it out of the cave, and now you're blowing me up live on the internet. Nobody's supposed to know.
doxing here. So there's a certain Romans 12:18 guy here. If you wanted to eloquate on something you received.
Eloquate? I'm going to eloquate at some point. So Romans sent this lovely cigar, Romans 12:18. I'm just gonna say, man, this was a $28 cigar. Bless you, bro. Thank you. And assuming I'm still in the mood for a cigar after I finish this behemoth of a man war I'm smoking, I may just smoke it tonight. But this is a Davidoff. Is that
Davidoff?
Dave? Thank you, our expert over here. Davidoff Anniversario Numero Tres.
Oh, was that the one that came in the mail?
It is
Yeah.
the one that came in the mail, and
All I knew was that's a fancy cigar.
yeah, that's a fancy cigar. I think I just got high from smelling it. Yep, I did. I clicked end the live stream, end stream now. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Ooh, looks fancy.
Some things just look fancy. Some things look fancy because they are fancy.
That's true. Oh my gosh. I think I got like one small flake of that tobacco in my nose when I sniffed it. And I feel like a slight tingly burn right there. How about perennials? Perennials are, I guess, like millennials. You just gotta water them. I don't know. I can't pun right now.
Full sun.
Davidoff, Roger, pronounced with a Hispanic David. Roger that, Romans. Thank you so much.
All of Les's comments.
I just cannot picture these two with a man bun. Nope. Good luck. So, back to do I think there's hope for the future generations? And yes, I'm equating hope to them becoming more conservative. I do. But I also think that that process, the swinging of that pendulum, is going to be quicker in a lot of areas than others. Like, for example, in our area, the pendulum didn't swing near as far to the left as it did in a lot of other places. And so, yes, there's still things that I would consider stupid that occur in eastern Oklahoma, politically stupid or ideologically stupid. But it's like pales in comparison to any major city in the United States. It pales in comparison. And so the pendulum will swing more quickly back to center here than it will in the built up areas in the population centers, which is yet again another reason why living rurally is a good thing. Granted, we can't, if we order a pizza, we got to go get it. They don't bring it to us, and it's not a quick thing. There are downsides to this, but it really comes down to a quality of life thing. And so the pendulum doesn't swing as far and it doesn't swing as violently here. So in general life, while you may have less material things here, but life is more stable here because the pendulum is just kind of doing one of these, not these big, wild, violent swings. It's just.
And you nailed it when you said, population. The higher the density of the population, the more extreme the reaction of that pendulum swing will be. So when you have a lower population, it's going to only swing so far each way. And this goes for both directions. So right now we're on this swing. It's going to be sooner to come back to center. But even if it swings back the other way, it's not going to swing as far that way either because there's just less of a population density. When you compound those people, it's an exponential increase in that reaction. So it's literally a pendulum. We're up here, and when it's swinging, it's only swinging this far.
That's a good point.
Down here in New York, you're swinging this far, much further.
To illustrate your
my
point,
arm doesn't bend that way.
if this is the pendulum, okay,
Yep.
so what he's saying is because our population is lower, we're moving this much, whereas people in the built up areas are moving from here all the way over to here. It's the same pendulum, but the
same pendulum, same swing.
The traverse is because there's a lower pot. That's a great way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to steal that from you, and it will
That's going to be a whole
become part of our core ethos. Well done, some guy on the porch. Quit watering down my message.
I know, right?
People hate it when I smack the table because we got this new microphone now.
Yeah.
Actually had somebody wrote in and was like, Bear, please, I know you get worked up, but please don't hit the table. So he's like, I listen with earbuds. It's really bad. I apologize, anybody on earbuds right
He just
now.
can't help himself sometimes.
I've
So-
actually noticed that. It's sometimes in the morning that you've done it that I've been like, oh wow.
And the other thing I would add to that is as bad as it may seem, and we're going to use a pendulum analogy again, as bad as it may seem to the people right here,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that, oh my goodness, we've swung so far. Honestly, I don't think we're going to stop till here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I don't think we're about to turn around and swing back to center. I think that there is more swing left in that pendulum.
Do you think we got a little bit farther to go in the direction of crazy
I
before
do.
course
You're
corrects?
like that.
I do.
You're like that boat ride that's just gonna take off.
Well, because
What's up, Garen?
honestly, I consider down here on the pendulum to be like India type population density.
Okay, fair enough.
So I feel like New York is honestly like here, you know, a large density.
You're
cities
talking
are
New
here.
Delhi down here at the bottom.
Right.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
like
You literally have people like just living on top of each other, you know.
gross. There's a Torah for that. What's up, tribesman? Shalom, brother. Watering millennials, I think, would be considered enhanced interrogation. That's true.
Show 'em technically
But if we like sprinkle them with Miracle Grow first, it's like one day you'll grow into a real boy. You know, maybe that'll actually help them.
I don't know about that.
John Jones said with 2,000 acres, you can build Burristan. I don't know why you want to build Burristan, but
I agree. If I had 2,000 acres, I wouldn't build Burristan, but I would build Barristan.
sorry, John.
He had a typo and we grammar Nazi the shit out of him. Sorry, John Jones.
That's one of those.
Oh, now she's digging into
Oh,
the
no.
Mandela effect.
Yeah, the Berenstein Bears.
Bernstein Bears or Berenstein Bears?
Bro, don't even. I don't know.
The Bernstein Bears.
I thought it was the Berenstein
Yeah,
Bears.
people have pictures of it spelled both ways.
That's
I
ridiculous.
actually like.
It was
Own
a children's
books.
book. Like,
Oh,
how
yeah.
do you expect children to say Burstein?
They don't. Oh, speaking of children's book,
The Mandela effect.
Mm.
Amazing. If you ever go down that rabbit trail,
It's been his main
Oh.
reading recently.
that's right. Yertle the Turtle is damn
He's
good.
come a long way.
Well, ever since I crushed Hop on Pop, I've been really excited to get Yertle the Turtle. I would probably only take about 5 minutes to read Yertle. Should we read Yertle the Turtle?
You're gonna get demonetized for
No, I won't. This is
Right away.
Yertle the Turtle by
You're right.
Dr. Seuss, published by Random House, available at seussville.com. Dr. Seuss wrote and illustrated 44 world famous books for children and their lucky parents. Let's see. If we just read the title
taught my
page,
children to read using those books.
Tactical Turtle.
I love it.
Yertle the Turtle and Other Stories, Random House, New York, by Dr. Seuss. Copyright Dr. Seuss Enterprises LP 1950, 1951, 1958, renewed 1977, 79, 86. All rights reserved. Okay, so I think we covered that. Yeah, Dr. Seuss. Vicky says Dr. Seuss. So we'll read some quick Yertle the Turtle, because why not? On the faraway island of Salamasand, Yertle the Turtle was king of the pond. A nice little pond. It was clean. It was neat. The water was warm. There was plenty to eat. The turtles had everything turtles might need, and they were all happy. Quite happy indeed. Here's the pictures. This is for my buddy Jeb. This is for you, Jed. They were, until Yertle, the king of them all, decided the kingdom he ruled was too small. I'm ruler, said Yertle, of all that I see, but I don't see enough. That's the trouble with me. With this stone for a throne, I look down on my pond, but I cannot look down on the places beyond. This throne that I sit on is too low down. It ought to be higher, he said with a frown. If I could sit high, how much greater I'd be. What a king. I'd be ruler of all I could see. And here's Yertle, the king, sitting on his rock.
Yeah, reading a book on camera, and it's not it's not the scriptures.
So
What is
Yertle, the turtle king, lifted his hand, and Yertle, the turtle king, gave a command. He ordered 9 turtles to swim to his stone, and using these turtles, he built a new throne. He made each turtle stand on another's back, and he piled them all up in a 9-turtle stack. And then Yertle climbed. He sat down on the pile. What a wonderful view. He could see most a mile.
Those of y'all with good resolution might see the words that he missed.
Going for a swim, Fed. All mine, Yertle cried. Oh, the things I now rule. I'm king of a cow and I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house, and what's more beyond that, I'm king of a blueberry bush and a cat. I'm Yertle the turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see. Pictures. That's right. And all through that morning, he sat up there high, saying over and over, a great king am I, until long about noon. Then he heard a faint sigh. What's that? Snapped the king, and he looked down the stack, and he saw at the bottom a turtle named Mac, just a part of his throne, and this plain little turtle looked up, and he said, beg your pardon, King Yertle. I've pains in my back and my shoulders and knees. How long must we stand here, your majesty, please? There's little Mac at the bottom, okay? Here's Yertle at the top. Here's Mac at the bottom for everybody who's got eyes to see and ears to hear. Silence! The king of the turtles barked back. I'm king and you're only one turtle named Mac. You stay in your place while I sit here and rule. I'm king of a cow and I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house and a bush and a cat. But that isn't all. I'll do better than that. My throne shall be higher. His royal voice thundered. So pile up more turtles. I want about 200. There's Yertle. He's not very happy right now. Doesn't like the fact that Mac is talking back. 10 is not good enough. We're going for 200. Turtles, more turtles, he bellowed and brayed, and the turtles way down in the pond were afraid. They trembled, they shook, but they came, they obeyed. From all over the pond, they came swimming by dozens, whole families of turtles with uncles and cousins, and all of them stepped on the head of poor Mac. One after another, they climbed up the stack.
No, Rain Cat, this is your live stream.
This is it. You don't like it, you can hit the dough.
Cat
Oh,
sounds
shush.
like an asshole.
I know, I like Rain Cat. I'm just talking to everybody else.
No, Cat said Yertle sounds like an asshole.
Then Yertle the turtle was perched up so high he could see 40 miles from his throne in the sky. Hooray, shouted Yertle, I'm king of the trees, I'm king of the birds, and I'm king of the bees. I'm king of the butterflies, king of the air. Ah me, what a throne, what a wonderful chair. I'm Yertle the turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see. There's a moral here, kids. Just hang with me. Just hang with me. Then again from below, in the great heavy stack, came a groan from that plain little turtle named Mac. Your Majesty, please, I don't like to complain. But down here below, we are feeling the pain. I know up on top you are seeing great sights, but down at the bottom, we too should have rights. We turtles can't stand it. Our shells will all crack. Besides, we need food. We are starving, groaned Mac. You hush up your mouth, howled the mighty King Yertle. You've no right to talk to the world's highest turtle. I rule from the clouds, over land, over sea. There's nothing, no nothing that's higher than me.
Yeah, you're right, Hammercook.
But while he was shouting, he saw with surprise that the moon of the evening was starting to rise up over his head in the darkening skies. What's that? Snorted Yertle. Say, what is that thing that dares to be higher than Yertle the king? I shall not allow it. I'll go higher still. I'll build my throne higher. I can and I will. I'll call some more turtles. I'll stack them to heaven. I'll need about 5,607. This is a small amount of turtles.
And Roman's Knight Myrtle the turtle with a 177 as he perched so high. End of story.
But as Yertle the Turtle King lifted his hand and started to order and give the command, that plain little turtle below in the stack, that plain little turtle whose name was just Mac, decided he'd taken enough and he had. And that plain little lad got a little bit mad. And that plain little Mac did a plain little thing. He burped, and his burp shook the throne of the king. And Yertle the Turtle, the king of the trees, the king of the air and the birds and the bees, the king of the house and the cow and the mule, well, that was the end of the Turtle King's rule. For Yertle, the king of all Salamasand, fell off his high throne and fell plunk in the pond. And today, the great Yertle, that marvelous he, is king of the mud. That's all he can see. And the turtles, of course, all the turtles are free, as turtles, and maybe all creatures should be. The end. That is the moral of the story. You can only stack so many turtles underneath a tyrant before somebody burps and the whole thing comes crashing down. And those turtles are supposed to be free in the first place. And so it's incredibly relevant to what we were talking about earlier.
Amazing how you can say.
Yeah. Medic Mouse, I will be in Oklahoma.
Just say.
I'll be at the OKC class.
I ordered that book specifically to read on camera at some point because of that message.
Several people.
Not Arkansas.
Several people, the one I commented, of course, too, but also others were making the correlation to Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's good. It came through. Dr. Seuss is good at that. Of course, according to modern society, it'll also raise your children to be racist and sexist and whatever.
I don't give a shit what modern society says. Dopey, then Roger that.
I'll marry my girls off to racist, sexist people.
Right. Off topic, but will Bearfax ship Father's Day if I order this week? When's Father's Day?
The 20th of June?
20th of June?
Yes, it will. Yes.
It's a month away.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep.
Yeah,
we're
I
like
think
10
we're
days.
at May 12th or
Yeah.
13th right now.
Yeah.
For the most part,
Garen,
like I have a few outstanding
Garen,
orders.
turtles are not considered clean, and neither are people when it comes to eating. So the analogy stands. If you are going to order a kit for Father's Day and you order it before the end of the month, you can and should use promo code Stop the Bleed, all one word. You can also use that on training,
Yep.
which you just posted a new class today.
We now have a new class in the store for the civilians. It's going to be a double Stop the Bleed in Missouri,
In
Springfield, Missouri.
Missouri. Knowledge 85, bless you. Thank you.
We've had a lot of y'all reaching out from that area, and so when we had the opportunity in our schedule to put a civilian class out there, that's what we targeted.
That's awesome. Springfield, Missouri. And we've still got a few seats left for Tallahassee.
Yep.
Do we have seats left for Moore this weekend? Because Moore is Sunday.
I think we have a couple, like maybe two.
Like two left for Moore?
Two or maybe three. But yeah.
Working out in regards is.
Yep. And then
Yeah,
I get all of y'all's emails, so I am working through trying to schedule a course that's closer to the East Coast. I'm sorry, the West Coast. I hear y'all on the West Coast. I hear y'all. There are issues with our people, our instructors, our staff going into California without the ability to protect themselves. There are issues with that, but we are working on a
No, tactically, Torah, we do not.
we're working on a West Coast course that will at least hopefully be close enough that you can commute to it.
The van. Sorry, you're gonna have to read to your kid now. I'm done. So yeah, there's some Tallahassee seats left. Myself and Angry American and our wives will be there. We're doing a grill and chill in the parking lot in between classes.
And we should charge a premium for that. That's not something that happens at every course.
It is not something that happens at every course.
So only do you get a grill and chill with the bear and his family, but you also get Angry American, which actually recognized.
Yeah, he doesn't just like show up at places.
Yeah,
so it's pretty cool. He's going to be there.
Very much so.
Yeah, so that's Tallahassee. All this is at refugetraining.com, by the way. And like you said, you just put the Missouri class up.
Yep.
And we are working on a West Coast class. We're also in talks of doing something in Eastern Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So
possibly West Virginia, but that kind of that region. I also have heard y'all from Central Texas, and I know we frequently do classes in Texas. As soon as we get an opening, we're going to try to work that in as well. Yep.
Sarah, I wouldn't bet on it. Like, it just so happens that we're going to be able to do it in Florida.
Yeah.
So grill and chill is not going to be a feature of every training that we do.
That is not an option you can add to a course. It's not like Quick Clot on your backpack.
But I am going to feed y'all. Like,
yeah, but it's not like Quick Clot on your backpack. Like, this is a limited edition.
Well, we had it in the past, but you couldn't find us.
Well, that's true.
Right.
So yeah, so in Florida, if you're coming to the morning class, make sure plan to stay after the class, because we're going to be cooking burgers in the parking lot and fellowshipping. And if you're coming to the afternoon class, plan to get there early, because we're going to be cooking burgers in the parking lot and fellowshipping.
Yeah.
So
and y'all get a confirmation email, and that'll be included in that also. But as a reminder. We also still have the Kansas class. It's not quite full either.
Paola, which is southwest of Kansas City. Yeah. Just southwest of Kansas City.
So those of y'all in the middle section of the America Sandwich, that could be a good option for y'all.
Yep. And everything else is in the works, so we're not going to talk too much about it. I don't know, Gary Bulldog Prepper. What's going on with you? We're just hanging out. Been waiting for you to show up, but you're here now, so we can party. Hey guys, Gary's here. We can party.
Awesome.
Bottoms up, everybody.
Drinking straws are the limited edition for the bear pack.
Yeah, that was one. You are one of one.
Yes.
There's somebody else who got chopsticks once. So.
And
Dakota.
Then somebody got a whole mess of crowns.
Yeah, that was Brooks.
I don't know if he knows that his guy does. Did he?
He does. Yeah, he made sure to text me.
Okay. It wasn't just like a couple.
It was a lot. Well, he's not just a Marine, so yeah, he did a lot of crayons.
Meals.
Yeah, multiple meals. That's right. He's got at least like 6 or 8 kids menus worth at the steakhouse. Gary. Yeah, I know. I was gonna say something to somebody, and it's gone already.
So fast.
I know. I don't. Oh yeah, Dakota, the Dan Bongino Russian military commercial versus ours. Yeah, I saw that. We get a lot of questions from people who are like, Bear, I'm a young man, I'm a young woman, I'm thinking about joining the military right now. Do you think it's a good idea? Frankly, no, I don't think it's a good idea, because if you look at the overall mindset and ethos of the United States military currently, and you look at the I'm just going to say, if you have the bone deep conviction to defend your country against all enemies, foreign and domestic, more power to you. But there's a conflict coming, and I'm not saying that you should avoid war, but I am saying there's a major conflict coming, and your leadership is going to suck. You're going to have leadership that's going to produce commercials about how I'm trend setting as an Army soldier with me and my 2 moms, and I blah 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 blah, rather than the Russian recruitment video that's a bunch of shredded dudes in a barracks that wake up, PT, and shoot all day. and then wake up PT and shoot all day instead of me and my two moms breaking stereotypes.
Yeah, I often refer to the sissification of mankind, and I will state that the Army, which I personally witnessed, the Army was a culture sample of that, where not only were these soldiers not trained to be as hard, but just prior to my departure,
PZ, Phelps will get with you. Don't worry about it.
just prior to my departure, all of the quality, experienced senior leadership left.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people who had been through 20 years of warfare and had all the lessons learned, and they cared about their soldiers and cared about them getting back to their families more than they cared about their next promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Those people were headed out the door before I left. And when I saw them all heading out the door, that was a hefty portion of the reason that I left, because I have no desire to be stewarded by the people who their primary concern is their next promotion.
Yep.
So that's something to keep in mind. But at the same time, I also have a cousin who just joined the military. And I would agree that if you have that bone deep conviction, that is, you have to follow that, Also, sorry, quickly, several people have asked some more questions about training. I'm not going to delve into every single question about training here. You can email sales@refugetraining.com, sales@refugetraining.com, and I will get back to you. We've had numerous one-off requests for classes here and there, and if we can put something together, that's great. We also offer discounts if you are watching and you have, hey, I've got my local mag. We've got 11 people in our group, and we meet every other week or every month, and that kind of stuff. Email me, and we can work something out. We can try to make something happen. Okay.
There is Bama. We're gonna punch your pie. You were correct. Austere class is in the works, brother. It's in the works. Yeah, they will vet you out and make you get the jab. That's another thing as well. There's a lot of people who can leave right now are leaving because they refuse to take it.
Yeah. Now, thankfully, my cousin brought that up. Now, he's an intel, and he's a reservist, so it's a little bit different. But he's a reservist, but he's been in training 4 of the last 6 months. He's been in the reservist, so he's been activated quite a bit. So they brought up that about the vaccines. They have not discussed mandating the vaccines yet with them.
Got some weather coming?
It's moving north.
Okay.
So.
Well, if it gets bad, we'll shut it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Believe it or not in charge of the
It may
weather.
not last very long because it doesn't look like much yet.
He's not. I only control the temperature, not the rain. So when I go to Dallas, I turn down the temperature when I leave Oklahoma.
Damn you. Tread on this. What's up, man? 4 cords of juniper. You have fun with that, brother. Hey, keep saving lives. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
While we talk about government overreach and such, can I ask about Romans 13 and how the NIV and King James Version perfectly left out the chunks of verses and has totally different messages than the scriptures? Oh, you're talking about being subject to the authorities? Oh, yeah, for sure. It was talking about church authorities, not the government.
Yep.
It says governing body. It's talking about church authorities. It's not talking about the president and the speaker of the house and the Supreme Court and the legislative branch and the judicial branch. It's talking about the governing body of the early church.
Because you have to think about the context of who it was written to.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, Yah forbid you actually think about context.
Well,
I mean, whoa. You can't just read your Bible and then do what it says. Oh, wait, you can, and you should. My bad. So that explains the difference in left out verses. Thank you. Of course, Brian. Kimmy Pfeiffer. Woof. My husband wants him to join the military. I don't care. Okay.
Nebraska.
Sounds like y'all need some communication.
Nebraska prepper. No, elders are a thing, and they exist, and that is biblical. But there are qualifications of who is an elder. And by the reach, I feel like that's about to get expounded upon. My little 2 cents
Are you
is,
thinking Titus? Where did you want to go?
I mean, yeah,
Go ahead.
but my 2 cents is that, and I'm by no means a philosopher on this topic, but I believe, Yeshua spoke that many people wanted to be highly regarded in the church, like in Judaism. They wanted to be scholars, and I believe he said Pharisees. I believe it was the Pharisees he was speaking to, so that they could get special treatment, so that they were considered in charge. And we see this today in the modern church, and I believe it existed also in the early church. People that they wanted to advance themselves, and they wanted to do so for the wrong reasons. First off, they wanted to advance themselves. Very rarely will you talk to an elder or a true biblical pastor that they just say, man, this is what I've been wanting to do since I was a teenager. Like it's a burden. It's a responsibility. It's an extra weight that they carry and responsibility they carry. But I believe that what that's referring to is the people who had elevated themselves. Yah had not elevated them. It was not a biblical stature. It was them elevating themselves so that they could manipulate and control people, essentially. So go ahead, because I think you're where it actually.
For Titus 1. The reason I left you in Crete was that you should straighten out what was left undone and appoint elders in every city as I commanded you. If anyone is unreprovable, the husband of one wife, having believing children, not accused of loose behavior or unruly, for an overseer has to be unreprovable as a managing one of Elohim, not self-cleaving, not wroth, not given to wine, no brawler, not greedy for filthy gain, but kind to strangers, a lover of what is good, sensible, righteous, set apart, self-controlled, clinging to the trustworthy word according to the teaching, in order to be able to both encourage by sound teaching and to convict those who oppose it, which is a hell of a phrase. For there are many unruly men, senseless talkers and deceivers, especially those of the circumcision, the Yehudim, the Jews who did not have a testimony of Jesus, whose mouths have to be stopped, who upset the entire households, teaching what they should not teach for the sake of filthy gain. One of them, a prophet of their own, said, Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, lazy gluttons. This witness is true. Therefore rebuke them sharply in order for them to be sound in the belief, not paying attention to Yehudi fables and the commands of men who turn from the truth. Indeed, all matters are clean to the clean, but to those who are defiled and unbelieving, no matter is clean, but both their mind and their conscience are defiled. They profess to know Elohim, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, unfit for any good work. But you speak what is fitting for sound teaching. The older men are to be sober, serious, sensible, sound in belief, in love, in endurance. The older women likewise are to be set apart in behavior, not slanderers, not given to too much wine. It's interesting that you can have some wine, just not too much wine. Not given to too much wine, teachers of what is good, in order for them to train the young women to love their husbands, to love their children, to be sensible, blameless workers at home, good, subject to their own husbands, in order that the word of Elohim is not evil spoken of. Likewise urge the young men to be sensible. Show yourself to them an example of good works in all matters. In teaching, show uncorruptness, seriousness, soundness of speech beyond reproach, in order that the opponent is put to shame, having no evil word to say about you. So yeah, there is scriptural provision for what an elder is, and it's pretty straightforward. Well, the husband of one wife, having not zero, not multiple, the husband of one wife, having believing children, not accused of loose behavior or unruly. So as part of being an elder, you got to have a wife.
Yep.
The husband of one wife, and your children need to be walking in the way and not be an abomination. And then it goes on from there. And so,
well, and also, and I have to find it real quick. I know it's in 1 Timothy.
Yas.
I know it's in 1 Timothy, but it refers to
Howdy, Philip.
an elder is a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so you have to actively be teaching, and it says be wary of being labeled a teacher.
You're thinking of James 2?
Maybe.
My brothers, let not many amongst you be teachers, because you'll be held to a higher standard.
Yes.
Yep. James chapter 2.
So I was also.
It touches on that elsewhere, because in the mouths of 2 or 3 let everything be established.
Yeah.
But James is just the perfect book for like practical application of what it means to follow Messiah.
I was thinking of 1 Timothy 5:17.
Mm-hmm.
Let the elders who rule well be counted worthy of double respect, especially those who labor in the word and teaching.
Yep.
Because you and I both know brothers. We count as an elder. And when there's something that we want just further discernment on,
yep,
we'll approach him. And he will teach us.
For sure. For sure. You talking about Brother Richard?
Yes.
Ozarks Altruistic?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Ozarks Altruistic.
Yep.
Yeah. That man knows his word.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I love having conversations with him, because I learn every time.
Yes,
he
absolutely
he
every
teaches.
time. But it's
Yep.
He labors in the word.
Amen.
Not only he's been doing it a long time, he meets all the qualifications for an elder, but he also actively labors in the word and teaches us.
Yep.
That is the completion of the qualification for an elder for me.
Both when we seek it out, and he's very gracious when you seek it
Absolutely.
out, but also if he sees us stepping out of line,
Yeah,
and he's like, hey man, can I talk to you about this thing? And it's like, you, of course, right? And that there's something that comes with that, where it's because I know he's firm in his faith, and he's got 25 years of walking in the Torah, and he's read that word more times than anybody can count, and he lives it, that when he speaks with a humble authority on the word, with love in his heart to teach you. And so when it says, to instruct and to convict, he does.
And married to one wife, and his children are walking in it.
Yep.
Grown children.
Exactly.
Not a 7-year-old that is following.
Right.
But he has raised them so that as adults they grow in it. They walk in it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean he's got Torah observant grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's pretty cool. So he's like a generation ahead of us. So
I don't believe that that's what they're referring to in the scripture that was questioned. I believe that's referring to the people that elevate themselves.
Yeah.
And he's humble about that. Like,
for sure.
He never seeks to be exalted.
Never, not once.
Anyone, but we know that when we need to go talk to him, we need to go talk to him.
Tabar, don't ingest aspartame. What's that stuff called?
It turns into freaking formaldehyde.
Milk of magnesia. What's that stuff you chug to make you puke? Is it milk of magnesia?
No, that's Ipecac.
Ipecac. That's what I'm talking about. Get you some Ipecac. What the hell is goats, or not goats and hosts? That's your shirt. What the hell is milk of magnesia then? What am I thinking of?
That's what
cells
calms your
indigestion.
stomach.
That's what I meant to say. I don't know.
No, you meant
chug something. Maybe hot sauce. Maybe coffee creamer. I've heard that goes really well.
Coffee creamer does not go well.
Sterilize yourself from the inside out. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
From elder wisdom to freaking drunkenness.
We don't, sometimes the lines in between the boxes in our brain get blurred, So what was that bottle?
I don't know. Whatever
Oh, speaking of Brother Richard, he left that here last time he was here. Jim Beam Black. I'm basically making a poor man's whiskey sour. I've got Jim Beam Black and I've got lemonade. So it's
Tavar is pulling an Adam and blaming his wife for him to try.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Yeah.
Did y'all tell you not to drink the aspartame? So
Yeah, and I'm drinking peanut butter whiskey
amen, tactically Torah.
with Fireball and rum chata. It's quite delicious.
That sounds like you and Taylor need to chug Ipecac.
It's like a cinnamon stick.
It's absolutely
Drinking
delicious.
water.
It's
You're
not-
drinking
it's like a
water?
liquid
Yeah.
stuff.
Good job, honey. You are the most
I'm drinking water too.
responsible. Are you?
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
over for 3 days.
Praise Yah. Question mark. Is this like a
She's battling, and I told her I wouldn't crush her.
oh, are you? Congratulations. After day 3, it gets easier. Trust me. I've done this.
It's not as hard as I thought.
I got water with some high fructose corn syrup, some caramel in it, and
Oh, you're drinking soda.
let me see what else is on.
I got it. Or pop, as they say in this part of the
The
world.
main ingredient is carbonated water.
They see pop down here?
Bless you, Forge.
I
I
don't
mean, it's all
know.
Coke. What kind of Coke do you want?
Opinion. Take on a mortgage or continue to rent in this economy. Oh my gosh. Option C, destroy your debt and GTFO.
Yeah.
How little mortgage do you take up?
This
Gosh.
So
I
again,
without real numbers on what you're dealing with here, without like you calling into the Dave Ramsey show, I can't give you an answer to this because I don't know what your income is. I don't know what you qualify for on a mortgage. I don't know how much you put down on a mortgage. I don't know if it's going to be a fixed rate or a variable. I don't know if you were honorably discharged and you can work through the VA and the
home loan system.
yep, and they're or the
Are you buying land?
the people with who do
FHA?
FHA. Thank you. Right.
FHA is not just for veterans, but
Right. I'm saying I don't know what your
Yeah, yeah.
particular circumstances are. I don't know how much rent costs. I don't know if you need a 2-bedroom house or a 5-bedroom house. I don't know. I really don't know, but I would 100% admonish you and encourage you to destroy your debt because no matter what comes next, a debtor is a slave to their debt, and you don't want to be a slave, man.
and whether it's
Or an
Destroy-
RV. Amen, Dudley.
destroy your debt, and then whether it is continue renting or go with a mortgage route, like you said, there's too many options there. But whichever of those are, whether it's to continue renting or to take out a mortgage, it should be a step towards independence. It should be a step towards getting your own place that you don't have a mortgage on.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Agreed.
Whether that means you spend less on Netflix and
That's what we're asking.
going out to eat and whatever
Okay.
while you're renting.
All
or-
debt paid off, great credit, need a small house, wanting land to get out of central New York. So great credit, yes. Okay, that's something, but it also means that you played exceedingly well in a game that's designed to enslave you, which means that you're probably pretty comfortable playing that game. And I'm telling you point blank, you need to not play that game right now. So I would get an absolute shithole of a house that you could rent that's an incredibly small, or by maybe it's not a shithole, but it's a really great deal. Get by with the bare minimum that you can rent. Yes, you'll have zero equity in the house. You're absolutely right. You'll have zero equity. And then use the fact that you're not servicing a debt load to stack your money up so that you can get land and you can get out. That's what I would do. If you have $1,000 a month budget, I'd find a place you can rent for $350 and put $650 away every month. And then I would work as much overtime, as many extra hours. I would sell as much of my crap as I could. And I would diminish my expenditures everywhere so that you actually have credit. Isn't money. You don't have money if you have credit. You have the honor, air quote, of paying back 3 times what you loaned to somebody else. And if you miss 3 payments, guess what? They're going to come take it. They will kick your ass out. So
not only that, we literally just earlier tonight were going to purchase something with a credit account I had with the intention of paying it off immediately. Okay. Not carrying a lot of credit, simply
We don't operate our businesses with debt.
Right. But there was a discount for purchasing it with credit. And they wanted to start jumping through holes of like, they had this whole process. And because we were like one step outside that process, that's them controlling the process. Now, the thing is, if you're buying something like that and you're just in that situation, you're relying on that credit, then you're at the whim of that person. All right.
Mhm.
As opposed to, we were like, F this, pull out the debit card and pay for it.
Done.
And it was done. Yeah.
Cash money, bro.
For the Proverbs.
Maybe. Proverbs 22, verse 7. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. I serve no man, so I have 0 lenders. Honey, can you snatch me some ice in here, please? About half, if you'd be so kind.
Actually, I'll get it because I gotta get mine anyway.
Thank you so much, honey.
You're welcome.
Way to delegate, babe. You nailed that.
Thanks.
Good work.
Thanks so much.
Here comes the rain. Jay John, shalom, brother. The bank can call on the line of credit anytime it gets in trouble. Seen it happen in 2008. Property tax is $600 a year where I live. It's not really an issue. Same thing here. Somebody, Boris, I think, said, I'm thinking about getting silver for wealth preservation right now. What do you recommend? I agree with silver as wealth preservation. I'm not heavily invested in silver or gold, but I do have some. And I have it because it's a tangible asset that will at least maintain its value. It may go up, it may go down, but it will have a value as compared to the, thank you, the greenbacks in my wallet right now. Question mark. The only thing that gives fiat currency any value is not the fact that the government says it has value. It's the fact that we have all agreed that it has a value, that it is suitable for satisfying debts. So, 7 more ducklings hatched over the last few days. Run, Ashley Storms. Why would you invite those heathens into your life? Ducks is the devil. Oh, there are little black ants all over this. That's cool. Yeah. Can y'all see that on camera? You see them?
They like the lemonade. Yeah.
They like the lemonade.
Stuff. Yeah.
It's good times. It's just a little extra protein, you know.
The rain has pushed them up on the.
Why do you choose the most impossible?
Well, Ashley Storms, if you can make ducks work on your homestead, and I'm not being facetious, more power to you. We've tried it twice and regretted it twice. So, but they're so cute. They start that way, and then they turn into terrors. French ducks?
Yeah.
Do you remember the ducks we had? Those were the worst freaking ducks, man. They were terrible. Yeah, because they were French. Yeah, they were terrible. Rowans. Ducks and onion gravy are delicious. Well, Jay Johns, by the time you get here, Ashley might have a couple we could talk her out of. And ducks poop everywhere. They also destroy their water source. Forget trying to have clean water. If you don't have like running water for ducks, forget it. Or now Sister Kate, what she does, Sister Kate Shofar Mountain, she has these water bins that she puts, her ducks are in her orchards, and she has like these mason pans filled with water, and the ducks go in there, they splash around, they poop in it because that's what ducks do, and then she dumps the bins out onto the root structure of the trees in the orchard, fills them back up with water, the ducks do their thing, and she just dumps them and fertilizes her tree that way. That's awesome. I don't have the patience for that, so I don't do that. I also don't have an orchard yet, and I don't have any patience for ducks. If I had ducks, much like guinea hens, I would let them all run into the corner of the fence, and then I would number 7 bird shot them onto Dixon's smoker or onto J. John's skillet, and we'd be good to go. So we have a lot of ducks around here. Duck poop everywhere. No clean water with ducks. They don't smell like food either. Yeah, I'm not a fan of ducks, man.
No, they're nasty creatures.
Ducks poo way more than chickens. Yeah, they do, and it goes everywhere.
It's watery.
Yeah, they just bleh, bleh. Had a small farm store that we used to sell duck eggs for $3 to $50 to $5 for a half dozen. There is value in the eggs, that's for sure. But I get like a lot of eggs, 1.5 dozen, 2 dozen eggs a day from my chickens, and that's just when we go look for them. And chickens aren't ducks, so let there be
Wow,
light.
look at that.
Well done, Senor Phelps. I mean, stalwart peacekeeper.
Have I earned another day?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that did it. That did it. It had nothing to do with you feeding the animals this morning. It was.
Yeah.
It was that.
But like,
Finally, I tipped over.
wait till the last minute.
We need a Phelpsometer.
Yeah.
It's like evict, tolerate, stay, and embrace. It's like where are we at?
I'm gonna stay. Let's just tip me over to stay.
He's like he's on a pendulum.
That's funny. Oh man. Oh man. We could approximately.
Whenever we do my sticker, that'll be my sticker.
I like that.
That's like right there.
Like an RPM gauge with a hammock underneath it, but like an RPM gauge.
Do chickens make more eggs? It depends on the chicken, on the breed and the season and the feed. But I do think chickens, generally speaking, lay more reliably more often than ducks do. Is that correct, honey?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool. We are listening. What do you need for your sticker? What's up, Sanctified Supply Co.? We'll be in touch, but essentially it's a meter, a Phelpsometer.
Like an RPM gauge.
Phelpsometer coffee cup, but not a left-handed coffee cup. That's a.
And we also need a Sam sticker.
Yeah, we do. I like that Sam sticker.
The idea that I
Yeah.
sent you,
Where'd you get that from?
I made it
Did you?
based upon the idea from Jay Morris.
It looks really good.
Thank
It
you.
looked really good. You should pass that to Lucia. Have her optimize it for stickerage.
I should.
You should.
I have a screenshot of it.
What was the idea?
Listen to the creaks, man. That's awesome.
My chorus of frogs that serenade
Uh-huh.
me every night.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
15 new chicks. I have a right-handed coffee cup. Geese are more foul than ducks. Well, way to go, Jeff Brown. I see what you did there. Fort Sill. Yeah.
Is that why that game is duck, duck, goose, and the goose chases you? So the ducks just sit there?
My
I don't know. Maybe.
Is that why geese, because geese are mean?
Geese are mean.
I think I can see it.
The army uses them as
What does it say?
Security area management.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
You need a dead coyote underneath him.
Yeah.
Maybe out of his mouth?
Yeah. Like a coyote head hanging
Or
from his
that,
face.
yeah,
Or like a dead
Yep.
possum hanging from his mouth.
a rabbit.
maybe. But yeah, that was my just rough
I like
idea.
it.
That's awesome.
I like it. Very cool.
Yeah. So
So go with that.
recently, literally this morning, Twitch had to come like, hey, you come to Bible study in my hammock because I was out. Because I tell you what, when that creek gets flowing and it's just like,
It's the noise machine. Yeah.
yes, it's the noise machine, and it's an off switch. And if the creek is still babbling, I'm less likely to wake up. I don't care how many alarms I set. I had 2 alarms this morning. Didn't wake up for either of them.
So speaking of wake ups, yesterday morning, my youngest came into the bedroom at 7 a.m. Wakes me up and says, "Dad, you got to get up." And I'm like, "Son of a, well, okay, what's up?" She goes, "Dad, get up. You got to get up. You've got a date." And I'm like, I'm racking the Rolodex in my brain, visualizing my calendar. I was like, I know I have stuff to do today. Yeah, I do have a couple of dates today. She's like, "Get up. You got a date." I'm like, "Okay, I'm getting up. I'm getting up." You know, this is my 4-year-old. She's like, "Get up. You got a date." I'm like, "Okay." I get up and I'm like, "Where's Mom?" And she's like, "You got a date." I'm like, "Okay." So I go downstairs, and at the dining room table was completely cleared off, except for 2 kid plates with Little Debbie snacks on them, oatmeal cream pie, and the little white cake one with the white frosting in the middle of it.
Like zebra cake?
The zebra cake, yeah. And 2 cups with Kool-Aid in them, and a vase with 2 white roses in them. She made a date for us because we were supposed to go on a date the night before, but I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't up to it because I was hurting from surgery recovery. And so I was like, can I get a rain check? And Harmony's like, yeah, of course, you know, not a problem. And then yesterday morning, Aspen wakes me up. She's like, you got a date. And she had made us a date at 7 a.m. I was like, you were the coolest freaking 4-year-old, man.
And the
like,
fact that your 4-year-old picked up on what had gone on.
I know, right?
And then it said, oh, I'm going to problem solve this, and I'm going to fix the situation. They're going to have a date right here.
Bless you, Dakota. Yeah, it was awesome.
They're going to have a date
That was
right
awesome.
here. Like, I'm going to make this
Like,
happen.
yeah, just the initiative of a 4-year-old and the awareness to pick up on
And care and loving of, like, they need this, so I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 roses, man, and a vase. I'm like, you are the coolest little thing, man. It was awesome. It was like, I'll never forget that.
And we don't
She
have
had, like,
roses
cut
like
up the oatmeal cream
Yeah,
pie
she
and
did.
the
She
bunny
cut
cake.
out the little Debbie things and like half a glass of blue Kool-Aid or whatever that was.
Yeah, she had 1 pouch of blue Kool-Aid left,
Oh, and she split it.
and she split it
Wow.
between the 2 of our cups.
That's so. Yeah, that's
it's not
awesome.
Like, it's not like this place is Home and Gardens magazine. Like, there's not roses growing all over the place. Like,
No.
Yeah,
Well, that was my not anniversary present.
your not anniversary.
Yeah, my not anniversary.
Yeah,
You did pretty good for not.
thank you, Aspen.
thank you. Yeah,
Aspen. knocked
I
it
appreciate
out.
that. I'm glad I did pretty good for my not anniversary.
Happy not anniversary.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Not anniversary.
Y'all
Yeah.
had a much
Sanctified,
better
absolutely.
anniversary.
Man, he was telling me about it. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I know.
I was like,
I was like, man, that kid is too cool.
I was a single man with no kids. I'm like, goals. Like, just, goals.
Oh, you gotta go get you a wife.
Yeah. So yeah, super thoughtful, man. I was just blown away by a 4-year-old. Like, yeah. So that's a hard date to top. I agree. 5 verse 1. It was really touching. It was really thoughtful.
Well, and
So
again, I'm just gonna kind of like
thank you, Garen.
kind of spin off that a little bit, but like when you talk about like the blessings
Yep.
of living a righteous life,
Yep.
you know, no amount, like Bill Gates cannot buy that.
Agreed.
Like Bill Gates can't buy it.
Well, and that's what the Father wants from us.
Yeah.
When he says,
Yes.
be like a child,
Yep.
because
Oh,
Bill
yes.
Gates could pay somebody, he could compel somebody, he could make somebody do that. But to have somebody willingly give,
Yep.
be like a child, man. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
That sky is beautiful behind you.
Yeah, it is.
It actually translates really well on camera too.
All right,
I
well,
hope y'all see that.
screw y'all who
Look
can
at the
see
next
colors, because it just looks gray to me.
Up
No,
in
it
that like
looks
salt,
great.
like directly behind you is like way different.
Yeah, no, it goes from like a blue to a pink.
Does it?
Yeah.
Is that what color it
There's
is?
like
That's
purple,
like a baby blue
under
to a
that.
really soft pink.
It
You don't
just
like Candyland?
no. I don't want to play Candyland. I win because all the tiles are gray.
Well, we
So.
thought, well, we thought on that, you move one space at a time.
You gotta rig the game for me.
Yeah, you couldn't get very far.
I go to gray again.
Pictures.
Yeah. We'll move to
So
gray.
there's lots of ways that I'm sorry.
Yeah,
to
Ford-
harp on this a little bit, but
Forge, be like a
Really
child.
grab it.
Yeah, I agree. But
Gray.
there's lots of ways that
Oh, double gray. Yeah.
you can say you're blessed. There's lots of ways you can say you're blessed, but there's also people out there who can, in their mind, if not verbally, twist that and be like, well, yeah, but you're an entrepreneur and you're, you know, a hard worker and if not a workaholic, and you know, so you've made all of this happen, right? And people can respond to the fact that, like, I live in a hammock and I've never been more satisfied or fulfilled in my life. That I've made a lot of money.
Yep.
And I've had really, really nice places. I lived in the Village in Dallas. Like I've had very nice places, and I've never been more comfortable, satisfied, or fulfilled than I am now. And people can be like, "Well, you're just, you know, you're utilizing what you are doing, and you're making this that you're saying is a blessing from Yah." What I love about that story, what I love about what happened to you, is the fact that you cannot articulate that away.
Yep.
Like, there is no other way that happens.
Yep.
You, like, any parent in America can be like, wow, I would wish that my kid could do that. You know, like my 4-year-old did that, you know, like not in an envious manner or a covetous manner, but in just like as a testament of what living a righteous lifestyle and does, what it brings to you. You know, you reap the blessing and not the curse.
Yep. Raise them up in the way that they shall go, and they will not depart from it when they are older. I keep getting these Instagram suggestions of pastors, and they keep having these, like, I'm not being an a-hole, but I'm commenting on every one of them that I see, because they'll pull a verse out of context and just go on this diatribe about it. And I saw one this morning that the translation that they're using said, start a child on the path that they should go, and they will return to it when they are older. I was like, that is not what it says. It says, raise them up in the way that they shall go, and they will not depart from it when they are older. And raising somebody is much different than starting them. It's a full contact sport. You have to be involved. And if you take your eyes off of it for a moment, it has a chance to end catastrophic.
Right.
So to raise somebody is much different than to start somebody. And it requires a lot of diligence on your behalf that you stick with it.
Yeah. And bovine, OBGYN, you're absolutely right. Like, all of the skills that we're talking about, like my bushcraft skills, his entrepreneurial skills, like all of the skills that we have are absolutely from Yah. But to the nations, they're much more deniable than that story. And I'm so glad that he shared that story online here, because it's undeniable.
Yep.
It's one of those things that's just undeniable. You cannot fabricate it. You can't buy it. You can't replicate it. Like, it's pure and genuine, and that's all it is. It's just pure and genuine.
Yep. And that be like a child. What I meant by that, and Forge brought it up, you know, to be in awe of Yah. And there is that. But think about, like, when my 4-year-old is like legitimately concerned that there could be a monster. And I'm like, no, honey, there's no monsters here, because daddy would never let that happen. Your father will protect you, right? And she just trusts implicitly. If I say, hey, this is the way that it is, she understands that. She never worries about whether or not there's food in the pantry. She never worries about where her next meal is going to come from. And when she reciprocates so purely. There's no motive. There's no ulterior motive other than, I just want to do something nice. I just want to honor my father and my mother. And it's like that. It's the simplicity of a child.
And she knew your will. She knew your desire.
Yep.
And
that's a great point.
She did her best, her absolute best, to make that will a reality.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I hadn't thought about that.
And that's what Yeshua tells us to pray for.
Yep.
That not our petty little personal wills that, like, oh, like, relating it again to Aspen. Oh, I want my hamster out of the cage.
Right.
That's not her first priority. Her first priority is your will.
Yep. It's awesome. Somebody said, "Hey Bear, you should get the colorblind glasses. I'll send you some." I do very much so appreciate that. They don't work for me. I've taken the test and I've tried a pair. I've had a brother that had a pair that lent them to me to try, and they do not work for me.
You're not colorblind. You're color deficient.
I'm colored none. I got nothing.
No, but honestly, I say deficient. That's wrong. So he's not actually colorblind. Y'all out there, I tease him about it quite a bit because I just like teasing my brother. But in reality, he's not colorblind, and that's the easiest way he can relate it to y'all. But in reality, he's a superhero who has FLIR vision.
That is true.
Yes.
Because the Father giveth and the Father taketh away.
Yeah. He has
And
forward infrared as his eyes.
You, like, straight up no bravado, you don't want to fight me in the dark, because
Absolutely.
I see about 3 times as good as the average human at night.
I'm with this.
But I don't see colors. Like you have red, blue, and yellow receptors in your eyes, and you can be proficient in those. You can have more of them, or you can be deficient in them. You can have less of them. I have none. Like I don't have them. I think, like, on a scale of like 300, you could have like up to 300 of each, and 180 is average-ish. I have like 5 of the blue and 0 of the red and the yellow. Like, I don't have them. They're just not. It's a genetic deficiency. I don't have them. I cannot see those things.
Well, again, deficiency.
And my wife has, and again, talking about the beauty of Yah, my wife has all of them. She's off the spectrum in all of them.
Again, it's considered deficiency because they just don't know how to test for FLIR.
Mm-hmm. And yes, spotting camo patterns. Yeah, I'm actually really good at hunting, which doesn't make any sense at all, because a brown thing walking through brown things. But
FLIR.
But I pick out shapes so much better, and then at night, I have more of the cones in my eyes. I have significantly more cones. I'm short on the rods as far as my ability to see color during the day, but I have a lot more cones in my eyes, so I see much better at night than the average human being. So, D.L. Hemingway, I see at night better than in the day. Yes, over to Bus, I have tried the color correction glasses. They don't work for me at all, because I don't have any receptors. So, and I've been tested multiple times for this. I've been tested multiple times for this. I don't have it. In fact, recently I was getting a full workup, and they used to have these books where you would flip through the pages, but they had me with the thing you look in to test your vision. They had me hooked up on that thing, and they started scrolling through all these dots, and I was like, stop. And the girl goes, what is that? I said, just don't even waste your time. And she goes, well, you should see a series of letters and numbers. I said, honey, I know I should see. I'm not gonna. So we did a half a dozen of them. And she goes, oh wow, you really don't see anything. I'm like, yeah, I told you, stop. Like, don't even bother. I cannot see them. So
it's not as bad as Reddit, Arkansas. I mean, it's not that bad, I don't think, from the way he's described it. But it's pretty close to FLIR. Like,
yeah.
I've used FLIR extensively, and it's pretty, like, the way you see it's pretty close to FLIR.
Yeah, pretty much. White hot. Half of drivers are colorblind while behind the wheel regardless. Well, that's good to know. This half. Hey, how's our audio quality? Because it is raining. Can you guys hear us?
A bunch of background noise. You need to make adjustments.
How about a cigar? That prepper survival skills, that sounds fine to me, brother. I appreciate that. Bear would be screwed if he was dyslexic. Happy birthday, brother. Shaloha. Sorry for the weather. Audio is good. Roger that. Okay, cool. if it does get to where the audio quality is too low, please let us know.
Yeah, just like type in the chat, just be like, you spam rain.
Yep.
We'll get the clue.
Somebody thinks the rain sounds sexy.
It is. It's sexy rain.
I think I might be watching you while it's
Oh. Should I?
Oh gosh,
Oh,
don't you dare. Too much. Too much.
Bring out the token.
That's for my eyes only. What if I did that on camera?
A bunch of people are like,
I'm
I'm
so-
not, we're
Show
done.
to your traps and your collarbone.
Uh-huh.
Okay. ASMR rain. There you go.
Yeah. So it's funny. Like so many people are like 5x5. How many people know what 5x5 means?
Woo! What's up, Adapt 2030? What's going on, brother?
Oh, nice.
Shalom. 5x5. Send it.
Oh, I was just saying, like, how many people actually know what 5x5 means? Because it's been used so long. Most people that use it don't know that it came from the dual gauges on the radio. That the signal strength would come up, and 5 was the highest reading. So that meant like you were receiving on both channels at the highest reading.
Is that the same place that rose-colored glasses came from?
Yep,
No.
it is. It is
No,
the
it's
same
not.
place that
It's
rose-colored
absolutely
glasses
not.
came from.
No, it's the wrong
I
one.
will cut you,
Wait, but
but I'll cut you though. What are you? What? What's going on?
What?
I can hear you great. Awesome. Brenda can hear us. Oh no, not Brenda. Dakota can. Brenda's.
the chat moves
I know.
so fast. Like you're reading the comment,
Sanctified. Bless you.
comment, and then but you skip to the next comment, and so you read.
I know.
skip through the
It's
name.
it's.
Or you read the comment, and then you switch over the name, and in the time that your eyes traverse, like it's moved, and you've got a different name.
Lima Charlie, loud and clear. I can hear
Yeah,
you fine,
yeah,
Bear.
it's all living.
But someone's making popcorn. Roger that, Bama.
So it was like we've seen two before.
Oh yeah, smarty pants. You know, Arkansas Living. That's a good channel, Bear Nation. If you're not watching Arkansas Living, you should be.
Good brother.
Yeah, good brother for sure. My goodness, gotta go finish evening chores. Wildlife, Roger that. Bear versus Phelps thumb wrestle match.
What?
Hey, have you ever done Russian leg wrestling?
No. I've done the straight arm wrestling
Okay.
where you just like your straight arm and you just kind of turn.
Okay.
I've done that. I've never done leg wrestling.
That's true. Montana Sky is correct. Adapt 2030 is here. We have to go get more food.
That's true.
Everybody go panic buy grains.
Shut down the live stream. We gotta go buy food.
Well, that one night that Jay Morris found all the wheat at
Oh
Walmart.
my gosh, we all want
Wheat,
it.
WHEAT, wheat at Walmart. Yeah, people
The
were,
next day they raised the price.
I know, from like 17 to 34 bucks.
They're like, oh, this product is in demand. We're gonna like we literally affected the Walmart algorithm.
Somebody bought like 30 of them. They're like, I bought 10. I went back and bought 20. So I go back.
Hey, Sarah, I have done a show with Adapt 2030, but I would love to do another one. So, David,
I
if
think
you're,
the two of y'all should do a live stream.
I agree. I was just going to say, David, if you're listening, let's set this up, man. And Dudley, I know you're listening. So, can you make a note, Dudley, for us to reach out to David at Adapt 2030 and set up a live stream, assuming that he's good to go with that? But yeah, it'd be good to catch up, brother. It's been a while.
The two of y'all feed into each other so well. Like you're the way you
Texas
speak
tea.
feeds,
Bless you.
feed on each other. Yeah.
20th to the 27th.
20th through the 27th of September.
I was
Texas tea.
privileged. I got to sit behind the camera and listen to a good portion of you and him going back and forth.
Yep.
Before it was aired.
Yep.
And there's an air to it. Like there's a certain atmosphere. Like the two of y'all work really well together. So Yeah.
Do a show with PJF. I'd love to do a show with PJF. Honestly, I would. You know, it's just where
Shane Morris ended up with 41 buckets of that week.
we've been trying for a while. Good to go. Buckwheat and sorghum. Roger that. Make a note, Renee. Buckwheat and sorghum. Pallets of each.
And
Yep.
those are gluten-free.
They are gluten free. So me and PJ, that we see each other often. It's just when we do, it's not for the intent of live
Usually a
streaming.
Sabbath.
Yeah, and it's also usually a Sabbath. Bless you, Texas T. Thank you, brother. So yeah, it's
I don't think we have sorghum in the storehouses.
currently no,
And that's a mistake.
but well, there's a place that I know of that we can get some from.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So Renee, Alex.
what do you think about Russian slap competitions? Oh my gosh, those guys are. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Bro, there's that one video that goes around of like this dude, huge dude. He looks like Robert Oberst, the strong man that slaps the piss out of this small guy.
Yes.
The small guy reels back, smacks him, and he's just like,
And he goes out.
boom!
Straight on,
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Level set.
Like, do they have a mouthpiece in?
No.
Oh,
Fucking Russians.
yeah, I
Don't
know.
put my language. No. Fucking Russians. No. They don't.
Russians have a different jaw, though, I think, than like other. Like they've been bred to have like.
You ever see the slow motion?
Oh yeah, the like jiggly through
Oh,
holes.
the impact, man! It looks like the slow motion.
Roger
on
that,
an
Dragon
MMA
Shield.
kick.
Yeah.
Like it literally looks like the slow motion on an MMA kick.
That's true. Too much vodka. I agree with that.
They did that whole like it wasn't
Slap
Mythbusters,
contest for ya. How many rounds could we go, Trev? I mean, I'm talking like, I think by round 2, it's going to be like, all right, we're going to need a timeout,
Only
probably a
if you guys
couple of
go
drinks.
easy the first time.
I'm telling you, like,
Well, I think you and I could have a entertaining slap contest.
yeah, there's probably, what if we got like those giant,
You're
like,
strong as shit, and I'm hard to knock down. And so, like, I think it would be entertaining.
it would be fun. What we need are those giant inflatable sumo suits.
Yes.
That would be fun. That would be actually be fun, and there'd probably be a lower likelihood of people dying from it
I can get those.
or getting traumatic brain injuries. Yeah, we should do that.
Been there, done that. Like,
Final round with Dudley.
T-shirts.
I don't. Yeah, we automatically just put Dudley in the winner's
No, I'm
circle.
not playing with Dudley.
It'd be, but think about if we all get in inflatable sumo suits, we take a lot of Dudley's tools in his toolkit away. You know?
It's kind of true.
Yeah, I
That's
think
kinda true.
that'd be so much fun.
FYI, I when I came back from Texas, I brought my hand wraps and my boxing gloves.
Okay, good to know. Sumo suit at ATS. Yeah, once I get healed up, I'm really looking forward to getting back into that.
Oh, yeah.
And get the Borosaurus Rex to wear one of the T-Rex suits. That's a great idea.
That is, I think you'd be absolutely on board with it too.
That'd be a great idea. Reffing, we need to get one of those like black and white
sumo
ref
suit
shirts.
might need some accessories.
Okay, what kind of accessories are we talking about
Thinking
here?
like a unicorn horn,
Okay,
and maybe some wings.
I like this. I like this.
Probably a tail.
This is getting kind of ridiculous. I like it. It's just getting kind of ridiculous. Oh
I've
man,
seen his artwork. Like, of
Yeah,
his perfect
this is
warrior,
true.
So, like,
this is
yeah.
true. Bear, what can you plant to grow that the foliage is a great replacement for toilet paper? Well, I personally like to use poison ivy. I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
I don't have a reaction
Mullane.
to poison ivy, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. Rainbow grenades. Yeah, and glitter. It could be glitter party too.
So, again, y'all are asking questions that we need more information to be able to answer accurately. Like, what foliage to grow as toilet paper largely depends on the size of the ass.
I think it also depends on where you live. So what can you grow?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Cactus pads. There you go. skunk cabbage, elephant ears. Yeah, poison oak and poison ivy are great butt wipe leaves. I agree. Lamb's ear is a good replacement. Correct. Seashells. Okay.
But from Demolition Day, the 3 seashells. You don't know how to use a 3 seashells.
Sears and the Roebuck catalog. Yeah, there's that stinging nettle. That's a great idea. No, we don't wipe our butt with socks. That's too much. I put socks on the pedestal, man. A bidet. Yeah, you could rock the bidet. You can also just go wash your ass in the creek. So just downstream from everybody, not upstream.
Yes, please.
Banana leaves, water and soap. Okay, I think we've probably covered this subject enough.
It's funny how everyone latched onto it.
I know this is a concern. So I see a video in the future how to wipe your ass in SHTF. Oh man, tactical short sleeves. I've been there.
Oh yeah.
Anthony, please pray for my daughter. She's still battling salmonella contracted from a snake that got into her bedroom. Anthony, I will do that. Forgive me, brother. I won't do it now, but I give you my word, I will do that. Thank you, brother. What's her name, Anthony? Dead possums. I like that. Scraps on a tree. Scrape it on a tree. Whoa. Butt scoots. Yeah, QRF, I do have 5,000 rolls of toilet paper. A potato. No, because we can eat the potatoes. Well, not the cat. Well, we could use potato. Anastasia. Roger that, Anthony. Thank you. And now for something completely different. Exactly right, Raincat. John Wayne TP. Shop towels. Yeah, shop towels is a good one. I have 24 cheap washcloths dedicated to fecal duty when TP is no more. Yeah, that's a whole nother strategy as well. Like the soap review video. What? Cloth, yeah.
Anthony, please put your daughter's name.
He did. It's Anastasia.
Anastasia.
I got it.
I missed that.
It's written right here, so I don't forget.
What?
Anastasia, Anthony's daughter, has got salmonella that we will be praying for later tonight. I bought a commercial-sized box of TP at an auction, 500 rolls per. Well, that'll do it, QRF. That's why we stock up on shirts. Flash sale on gently used shirts from the Sanctified Supply Co. It comes with a free trial package of Tide.
Does a bear wipe in the woods?
A bear does indeed wipe in the woods. Leftover Georgia ballots. There's a good idea.
Rabbits for that's
The bear goes up to the rabbit and says, "Hey, rabbit, who's 61st?" And the rabbit goes, "Yes." And the bear grabs it and wipes.
I like what Litter Picker said. It's probably a good idea to reassure the botanically illiterate that lamb ears is a plant. Please don't wipe on actual lamb ears. The lambs don't like it. We do have enough of those, though.
Yeah, like
I mean,
after slaughter, you can use a lamb ear. Absolutely.
Focus, you dumb camera. Oh, I did it. I like to keep everybody's old uniform shirts. There you go. Taco Bell wrappers. They're not very absorbent, but
and it's not like there's enough brains in every emerald to kind of hide. It's not like that with a Taco Bell wrapper. Like whatever you ate, the wrapper is not enough for what you have to deal with afterwards.
any advice on natural remedies for food poisoning? Puke it out and stay hydrated, and then eat bland foods afterwards.
Hydration is a huge thing. Yes, and
DL, there actually is a Torah for this subject. You go outside the camp and you do your business in a hole and you wash afterwards.
Yeah, and activated charcoal also is good. Activated charcoal can have a questionable reaction with some people, but by and large, yeah. And I've had food poisoning like no less than 50 times.
Where did you
as long as you stay hydrated.
Trash can stand.
Yeah, like the army. When the army's feeding you, you get
That's a low number.
I forget
food
about
poisoning
that.
a lot. Like, oh, this pellet of chicken was sitting out in the sun for 3 days, but it's still okay.
It's good to
Yeah,
go.
still on the, like, I need to
Yeah,
read
it's like,
reviews
how does
before I
it smell? Only
Oh,
semi-questionable. Cooking. Yeah.
You'll be fine after we
Yeah.
cook it.
We'll cook the death out of it. It'll be fun.
It smells fine after we're done cooking it. So, with a considerable level of experience, let me tell you that as long as you stay hydrated, you're fine.
Sham wow. There you go. That's a good idea. That's actually a good idea.
It may suck, but as long as you stay hydrated, food poisoning is not that dangerous.
Yep. It just sucks.
Now, when you have a limited supply of clean water, that is a problem. Like if you're bushcrafting and you get food poisoning and then you're drinking water, they can give you gonorrhea or dysentery or whatever.
I don't think it's gonorrhea. You get that a different way.
Dysentery.
Giardia?
Giardia.
Yeah.
Not gonorrhea.
Okay.
Giardia. Thank you.
Similar, the same.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
the method of acquisition is a little
yeah,
different.
you get them different ways. But,
Not gonorrhea.
Oh.
thank you.
Giardia.
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 But if you get food poisoning and then you're staying hydrated with creek water and someone up creek is wiping their ass with creek bidet and and you get giardia, then you're in a whole world of hurt. You might die.
Yeah, that's bad news. That's bad news. Wow, the water up there must be really bad. No, the water here is actually pretty good. It's just, post SHTF, let's not take any chances. There's a Berkey for that.
It's not so great up for the north.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's really not.
I
But
was like, I took a shower and I was like,
yeah, we're blessed with pretty good water,
yeah.
and we got more of it coming right now. Praise the Father.
There you go.
So, my goodness, orally and topically. Oh, depends on die guys. Yeah,
Arnica. No,
Arnica?
We
Oh.
switched to die guys to Arnica.
my bad. The new Berkey bidet accessory. Storms, that is just gross, man.
No, I don't need clean water to clean my ass.
Oh, if you could get gonorrhea from drinking the water. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe in times, certain parts of the country, you could get gonorrhea from drinking water.
So, Archangel, I'm going to answer this question briefly. Where do you think we are in Revelations? Because I've been asked this question pretty much every live stream for the last year. I don't know that we're in Revelation, and if we are, it's right at the beginning. And I say that because I think, if anything, we're in Matthew 24, where people are looking for the end of times, and Revelation is the end of times. So in Matthew 24, the apostles said to Messiah, "Hey, Master, what's going to be the sign of your end of an age, and your return?" And wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places, food scarcity, pestilence, and disease. And this will be, nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and these will be the beginning of the birth pains. And they will deliver you up and kill you for your belief in Messiah. We're not there yet. We're checking some of those boxes. We're not checking all of those boxes. So that's my opinion of it. But subject to change at any moment based upon new information. What about Revelations 18 to 23 being about the vaccine? I don't know, man. So there's a lot of people that think that the vaccine is the mark of the beast. And I will tell you this, and I mean every word of this. You will not be tricked into taking the mark. You will knowingly take it, and it will be a mark. It is a facsimile of, in Deuteronomy 6, when the Father says, "You will have his word on your mind and in your heart as frontlets between your eyes and bound upon your wrist, so that you remember and do his word." The beast, the mark of the beast, is the same thing. And you will take it, not you necessarily, but they who take it will take it knowingly and willingly, so they can continue to work within the beast system. Nobody's going to trick you into it. It's not going to be snuck in. It will be you. It is a conscious choice that you have to make to choose between the beast and his system and Messiah and his system. It's not a trick. There's no trick to it. And I don't think you can have an honest reading of the word when you read about the mark of the beast and think that you would be tricked into it. People will do it willingly.
So many places it refers to being blameless. And again, that goes back to like your intent. Like I've since following Torah, I have made mistakes simply from not knowing. And I consider myself blameless in those.
Yep.
Right? When I reached awareness, of course, my heart condition compelled me to seek forgiveness for that and turn away from ever doing that again. But the mark is something that you will know that doing this is departing from, well, I'm sorry, I said you will know. People will know, the people who do it will know if they know the Torah,
Yep.
if they know the word, if they know his laws. Because if you don't know his ways, then you won't necessarily know that what you're doing is making that division. But if you are following the word, then you will know that what they want you to do is deviating from his word. It will not be a passive thing. It will be an aggressive thing.
So golden rule said, isn't the vaccine a choice per se? And if we just play devil's advocate there, yeah, it's absolutely a choice. Are they shooting it in your forehead? Are they shooting it into your wrist? No, they're not. Are you denying Messiah with your heart and with your mouth when you take the vaccine? No, you're not. I fundamentally don't believe that people will be tricked into taking the mark. They will take it willingly. Does it have the precursors to something like that? For sure. Can we see comparisons between the word and what's happening in the world right now? Absolutely. But people who take the mark will take the mark, and it is a physical mark, and they will take it, and they will take it willingly. Nobody is going to trick them into it. So that's my take on it. That's where I stand.
A little bit.
I suppose.
So when it comes to taking the mark, the same way that you and I do not have scripture bound around our forehead and our hand, right? I don't believe that the vaccine in itself is the mark. But I feel like when the world, whether it be our individual government or a unified government or a unified health operative working under the Great Reset, whatever it is, if they say in order to go into any store and buy and sell, you're going to need this RFID chip in the back of your hand so that you can demonstrate that you have a current vaccine. Now that's different. The vaccine is not the mark, but like Bear said, it's so close to it, and so many people have been talking about the vaccine passport that is an embedded RFID type of chip, essentially a chip that can be scanned as you're walking into Walmart, and they know that you're good to shop there. That is something that has been discussed on the world stage, and it's in relation to the vaccine, but the vaccine itself is not the mark, in my opinion. I also object to those who believe that there are microchips in the vaccine. To me, that is tinfoil hat level of conspiracy theory. I am not one to object to conspiracy theory if it has a rational basis. And those who say the vaccine might be gene therapy, it might affect pregnancy rates and sterility and stuff like that. And okay, that I can see a level of reality and practicality behind. But those who say, well, the chip that will be needed for that is already embedded as microchips in the vaccine, that is largely basics. Okay, there are things that hint towards that, but there's nothing that conclusively says that in any manner.
So let me read Revelation 13, and it's quick. Revelation 13, it's quick. And I stood on the sand of the sea and saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads names of blasphemy. And the beast I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his throne and great authority. And I saw on one of his heads as having been slain to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the earth marveled after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon who gave authority to the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is able to fight with him? And he was given a mouth speaking great matters and blasphemies, and he was given authority to do so 42 months, 3.5 years. And he opened his mouth in blasphemies against Elohim, to blaspheme his name, his tent, and those dwelling in heaven. And it was given to him to fight with the set apart ones and to overcome them. And authority was given to him over every tribe and tongue and nation. And all those dwelling on the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the slain Lamb from the foundation of the world, shall worship him. So who's going to take this mark? Because we're going to get to the mark in a minute. All those dwelling on the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the slain Lamb from the foundation of the world, shall worship him. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. He who brings into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword shall be killed with the sword. Here is the endurance and the belief of the set apart ones. And I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and spoke like a dragon, and he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he does great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from the heavens on the earth before men. And he leads astray those dwelling on the earth because of those signs which he was given to do before the beast, saying to those dwelling on the earth to make an image of the beast, who was wounded by the sword yet lived. And there was given to him to give spirit to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause to be killed as many would not worship the image of the beast. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, and free and slave, to be given a mark upon their right hand or upon their foreheads, and that no one should be able to buy or sell except he that has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. He who has understanding, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666. And so there are those whose names have been written in the book of life since the foundation of the world, that are going to do war, do battle with the beast. And there are those whose names are not written in the book of life, who are going to take the mark so they can continue to function within the system of the beast.
And I feel like I need to highlight the very 13:10. You just kind of roll past it, but he who brings into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword has to be killed with the sword. Here is the endurance and the belief of the set apart ones. It's going to require endurance. It's not going to be something that just sneaks up on you. But it's going to be a battle waged. And as that battle is waged, those of us who are set apart from his righteousness are going to have to endure that.
Well, and it's also very interesting to point out at this point, we are in Revelation 13, where there is a war with the beast, between the beast and the saints of Yah, whose names have been written in the book of the life since the foundation of the worlds. Why have they not been raptured up by this point? Just saying. So,
If we are actually in the war with the beast right now, in 13. But if we are, there's also not a immediate time gap in that. Where to go with the camera, bro?
hey, I can't control the camera. It's not like I'm in charge of this thing. It does what it wants to do. If you are in here and you took the vaccine, you've been deceived once. What will stop you from taking the mark? You know, question mark. I've said over and over again, I'm not taking the vaccine, but if you want to, go for it. But you cannot and will not compel me to do it. So, yeah, Archangel, I've heard about certain of the jabs being magnetic. The mark of the beast has been confirmed as Dogecoin. Roger that, Storms.
Poor Devin.
What's wrong with Devin?
He had to suffer a horrible commercial in order to get
Oh,
his life.
Devin, I apologize, bro. I'm so sorry. Don't buy anything unless it's a bear fact. Promo code Stop the Bleed.
Well, bear training.
Or bear training. Refugetraining.com.
Yeah. So, but as to certain vaccines have been recorded to be magnetic. Yes. You know what else? Baby food. And anyone who has done any amount of industrial work understands the fact that metal shavings get in everything. Like, they will get in places that you didn't even know you had. Like,
That's
you do
true.
you do some machining, and you're gonna end up with metal shavings in places you didn't know you had.
Bro, if you look at what's allowable for the FDA
Yeah,
in
you
food,
can have
ugh,
you can
Just
have
ask how
3
they add
flies
iron
every
to
gallon
cereal.
of orange juice.
ugh,
It says it has your RDA of iron in cereal.
Yeah.
It's
Really?
Iron shavings.
ugh.
So I don't
It is.
discount the fact that people have been able to record that there's magnetic attraction after a vaccine, but at the same time, I don't consider that to be like, oh, you got like a whole bunch of microchips injected in there. Like, there's like, again, the same way that you approach the word of Yah with context, and if you don't, then you end up taking things out of context and deriving doctrines that are not biblical. The same thing can be said for
Good night, Tommy.
the same thing
Bless
can
you,
be
brother.
said for our natural world, where if you jump into something not knowing the context of that industry, then you can make assumptions or make an opinion, develop an opinion without all the information. So I'm not entirely discounting the fact that that is a possibility. It is a possibility, but it is not a probability to me. And then when it gets down to like the coagulation of iron in your blood and stuff like that, that is as simple as any negative drug interaction that you're injecting into your body, as opposed to allowing, like, digesting it like a pill that you digest and allow it to your body to process. You're bypassing a whole lot of your defenses when you're injecting. So yeah, as far as iron coagulation, like, that's something that you're bypassing the defenses that may have gotten rid of that before.
Let's shift gears.
Yeah.
ABT, our tactical mindset video, sitting at 2,314 views. Not bad. I agree. That's awesome.
It's a great video.
If you guys are not subscribed to Dr. Trevor Wilkins, here on the YouTubes whose name is in blue. You should be, because he's my brother and has great content. So, how big are those raindrops? I don't know. I can't feel them falling on my head. Soon be turning red. Nice. Shalom, Bama Buckeye. Feel better, brother. Oh my. Where's the pink daisy? I gotta, you know what? I don't know if I can show this on a live stream, but I got a pink daisy right here. How's that? It is pink, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, well, there we go.
Good job.
Any suggestions on water mitigation? Dig trenches. Moats is good. You can also put crocodiles in there
Or piranhas.
or piranhas. Yeah, for keeping people away from your house.
Divert it to your neighbor.
Make sure you have a drawbridge.
What's that, Fo?
Make sure you have a drawbridge.
A drawbridge for sure. You need a drawbridge.
No, you have to have a drawbridge.
I would also get like a handful of horses that are all, coated in livery, and I'd have a castle there that when folks showed up, you could raise the drawbridge, and then if you had problems, you could lower the drawbridge and smash them with it, and then ride out of your keep on your horses and run them through with a halberd.
Nope, you need swords.
Apparently, sharks with laser beams is what we need.
Sharks with laser beams is also a good
According to two
idea.
different people.
That's true.
So, perhaps you or Harmony could answer this better than I could, absolutely. Thoughts on the Berkey filters, either by themselves in a homemade filter or a Berkey light type filter, as opposed to the Amazon.
Oh yeah, I saw that
knockoffs.
question.
Yeah.
I have no experience with non-authentic Berkey filters.
I know who uses them is Chris does, and he likes them.
Yeah, he's had good.
He uses the knockoffs, and he said there's no difference. And he did like the knockoffs, I think, with an actual Berkey, and he did knockoffs like the bucket one. But I remember him saying he doesn't use the real ones, he uses knockoffs, and says they're fine. And they use like
Right.
real water.
So if you head over to the YouTube channel, following Yeshua, and that's can you spell that?
Follow in without a G on the end, and then Yeshua, YESHUA underscore.
Yeah.
You'll find it. Just put in the search bar, follow in Yeshua.
Yeah, if you head over to his channel and then search for Berkey, you might find a video on that, perhaps. But according to our we
You said it wrong.
yeah. So according to her, there's
badass that sounds like that.
No. She's like,
man, we both made that noise. So if you just say we're both not badasses.
I think you're reading too deeply into this.
Oh, yeah.
Brother Chris, following Yeshua, uses the knockoff Berkey filters and has had no problems with them, apparently, according to Sister Renee. What do you think about making your own Berkey out of 5-gallon buckets? I have not done it, but I know people that have. As long as it's a food grade bucket, you're good to go. Yo, Mountain Plaisman, what's up? And we finally got enough rain to soak the ground. It's a heaven of a ride. Roger that. Bear's mating call.
Effective and inexpensive water filtration system, Berkey concept.
Okay.
So if they put in following Yeshua Berkey, it comes up.
If you put in following Yeshua Berkey, it comes up. So there you go. The city sent a pair of health department ladies on Sunday to convince me to get the jab. I wonder how they knew. It's probably because the drones have been spying on you. That would be my guess. What's up, Andy Vetter? So blessed, Chelsea. Actually raining more where you are than I am. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm actually probably going to jump off of here pretty quick because I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to hurt again, and I don't take pain meds until it's bedtime because I really don't want to be sitting in front of you drooling on myself about to pass out.
I'm not that great at leading a live stream. Like I jump in with little nuggets, but I'm not good at leading one while he's drilling on himself. So
yeah, that would be weird.
it would be weird.
This is what I would do.
As many people mistake me for you, I don't think I can actually fill the role.
You're doing great. Just keep going.
All right, so
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Sorry. Actual live stream. My wife and I are about to get the jab of tetanus boosters. But here's the thing. And so,
Proven vaccines.
yeah, apply as much wisdom and discernment and discretion as you see fit with these things. I've had enough tetanus shots to sink a battleship, dude. Like, for real.
I was in the Army and I've literally been injected like
everything.
I lost track of how many injections I got. Like, yeah.
Rufus says just do lots of knife hands in Spanglish. That's true. That's a pretty good place to start. I've had lots of tetanus shots. I've had lots of shots. I just, I don't have a wealth of faith in the FDA as it is when things are, authorized for emergency use only under what I would consider to be a false precedent. I'm not interested.
Not an immunization either. It's totally different.
Yeah, it's gene therapy. It's not an immunization. So
that's what I touched on earlier. And the FDA approving something doesn't mean I'm going to go take it. But 60 to 80 years of people getting measles, mumps, and rubella shots.
It's a pretty good track record there.
Pretty good track record.
Yeah, pretty good track.
I'm okay
polio,
with that.
we've practically eradicated polio.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But that's not the same as some of the. Not only has the FDA not said we actually approved this, but they've said, well, we're just gonna let you give people this shot. But,
Shalom, Texas T.
Yeah.
Shalom, brother. You can't sell the meds if you don't have the diagnosis created to look at the DSMV. Yep. Raj.
And again, I I go back to the whole freaking the premise for it. This is not the plague of 1918 or 1912 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, there are 4 of us sitting on the patio. One of us is not going to die from this.
Well, you bring up a good point. Like last February or so, we didn't know what we were dealing with.
Right.
Like people were like, it could be the Black Plague, where 1 in 3 people died. We stayed home for 3 months. Didn't go anywhere. I went to the office. I did a lot of live streams from the office, recorded a lot of content from the office, and it was even in Eastern Oklahoma, it was a ghost town. But other than that, we didn't go anywhere. We didn't go to the store. We didn't go to the food. We did nothing, right?
Well, and at that time,
a few times I had to go to the store, like in March.
Right.
And then 95.
Because we didn't know what we were dealing with. Now we've got a year of this, and it's.
I didn't know y'all at the time. Okay, this is before I had met you, and I had plastic sheeting to put up around the door, and I researched what is the CDC biological hazard sign, and then I Amazoned some of those signs in so that I could deter people from coming to my area.
Yep. Yep.
Straight up put them up like so that people would think that it was a hazard zone and not in truth.
Yep.
Because I went into lockdown mode. That was like, I went like in February it was lockdown mode. Now March, I was like, wait a second, why are there not millions of dead homeless people?
Right. Right. It's like, well, something's fishy with the data here. So that's the thing. We have the historical data now to go, you know what? I'm not saying it's nothing. Because it's statistically, it's not nothing. People have lost loved ones, and there are a lot of complicating factors and comorbidities, right? So it's something, but it is not shut the entire world down.
Right.
It's not that. So.
Or roll out some like right out of the laboratory rushed not even a vaccine, but a rushed whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Placebo, vaccine, gene therapy, or like whatever. It's not justification to have that type of reaction. You know, the same way that like, oh, I have PTSD, so I have anxiety, so my in a state of anxiety, I feel like, oh, he's within arm's reach, so I should punch him in the face. But that is not a logical reaction to him being within arm's reach.
Good job, Phelps. You should probably talk to ABT about that.
No, yeah, but it's not a logical reaction to someone being within arm's reach. Like,
I agree completely.
So the same way, like, 1 in 3 people are not dying, so it's not a logical reaction to go out and pump something in their veins that's not been properly vetted.
Thinking about joining Patreon, what rate should I join at? Blaine, whatever you see fit to join at, man.
They all have their own perks.
They all have their own perks. You can check it out there. So the $5 and up tier gets to compete for a stomp bag that will be released to one winner. Let's see, in 27 days. Don't look at me like that. We talked about this.
I know.
No, I did not just make that up. So that's for the $5 and up. And if you're a $5 and up, pay attention. The video will be coming. You guys will know what to do. And then at the $10 and up, you get weekly write-ups, intelligence briefs, the whole nine. The $1, you get the daily brief, the write-up for that.
Ass load of content.
An ass load of content. I did not do my usually Tuesday and Thursday mornings. I do an exclusive Patreon live stream with the patrons, but I was not up to it this morning. I wasn't feeling it. And then at the $20 level and up, there's a whole additional stream of really intensive content. And then you get a coffee mug at 20, a t-shirt at 50, and a custom, hoodie you can't get anywhere else at 100. So, and really the 100 tier and the 50 tier has become, we just like Bear that much. We want to support him and what he does, and thank you so much. And I'm honored and humbled by that, but I'm not saying that anybody needs to sign up at that level. So yeah, whatever floats your boat, man. For $1 a month or $10 a year, you'll get started. And I hear often you produce more content than I can consume, and that's at the $1 level. So I'm even being even conscious of that nowadays because I don't want to swamp people.
It's absolutely true. And addressing the fact that the $5 and up tiers, yeah, there have been some live streams that have been missed over the last couple of weeks because of your physical recovery, right?
Thank you, Kurt.
But
thank you, Blaine.
But those tiers also have benefits of their own beyond that. And it's not like, oh, if you pay more than you get the live stream. It's like Patreon, there are literally 2 people I know that the Patreon is not an I love me, so you should love me also Patreon. All right. I have several Patreons, and all but a couple of them produce a bunch of content, but that content is largely like a portion of it you can also find other places.
Yeah.
It's just it's like condensed. It's like you're drinking straight from the teeth. All right. As opposed to like Bear and one other that I can think of that they pour into their Patreon. Like everything you see on YouTube, that is a fraction, and that is a fraction of what Bear does online. As far as like his engagement with people, that's a fraction of it. On his Patreon, it's a much more invested relationship. That's all I can express that. It's more invested. Even for $1 a month, you get the access to a wealth of knowledge that and I can't speak for him. I'm seriously just speaking for myself. Like, there's a wealth of knowledge that for his own reasons he has created an exclusivity and put that in Patreon. And the value of that is beyond, like, if you're paying for YouTube Premium, that money, that $13 a month, 1 month, skip YouTube Premium for 1 month, and you have a year worth of his content, and it's infinitely more valuable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's more personal too, because I'm answering questions directly from y'all, and I'm taking 10, 15, 20 minutes to articulate an answer to your question that is then posted for the benefit of everybody on Patreon. And then there's the ongoing conversation in the comments from there, as well as the community section of what people, the input that they have. So you're getting not just the benefit of my direct answer to what your question is, but you're also getting the expertise of the collective as well.
Well,
So,
and you just expressed this earlier in one of your Patreon or YouTube videos. I think it was a Patreon video. You read every Patreon comment.
correct.
Yeah, and that is not something that you will find online virtually anywhere. There are very, very few people with the number of subscribers that he has that will read every comment. And if you get a heart next to your comment, you know that he read your comment.
Yep.
And very often, I've seen this firsthand, very often he will respond to them. And again, that even further narrows the playing field of people in the same arena.
And with that, we're probably going to call it a live stream.
Sorry, I got a little bit ShamWow, like,
It's all good. No, I appreciate it. The training is not covered by HSA or FSA, but all the medical kits and components are. So for those who are asking in the comments, the ladies are already answering that. At least it's only ladies I've seen that have answered that. If dudes have answered that too, bless you.
And any question you have about training,
Sales at Refuge Training.
Shoot an email to sales@refugetraining.com.
Cool. Well, and with that, bless y'all. Shalom.